Number one, I like the hat, the New York logo on the very top. I don't know why, but here again, he as an artist took his death head on and made it a centerpiece of the card. So Monday was a very strong release day in Project 2020, and how did the card stack up on Tuesday? Welcome to episode number 118 of the Project 2020 Nightly News. My name is Chris, otherwise known on Twitter and Instagram is at CRT_sportscards, and my website, CRTsportscards.com, is where you want to go for everything related to Project 2020. Now, although there was a show last night, hopefully you did catch it, me talking about the Gibson F-Dot and the Sophia Chang Don Mattingly, there were a few things I left out. And the biggest one I left out, and I just ran into a time crunch here, I try to keep these under 8 minutes long, is the Frank Thomas, Andrew Thiel, and the extra bonus with that card. Last week with Gregory Siff's Mike Trout and then Andrew Thiel's Frank Thomas, they have now started to include rainbow foil parallels that print 1 in 20, meaning for every 100 cards that are sold on the Topps website, they're going to produce 5 foil parallels. And on the Mike Trout, with it having a print run just over 8,000, that means there are over 400 of these available at the time of release. I think it's about 402 to be exact. And on this Frank Thomas, with a print run at 2,841, that means there are now just 142 rainbow parallels available when those cards ship in a few weeks from Topps. So this Frank Thomas and potentially other cards in the future are going to be some of the lowest printed cards, not some of the lowest printed cards in Project 2020. The question though is, are you interested in these foil parallels? Is this something that you wanted to see in the set? Did you want to see parallels? Is this something they should have done from the beginning? I've always said, of course, artists like a Matt Taylor or maybe a Don C should have had rainbow foil since the beginning on all of their cards. But as these cards are now coming out, this kind of feels like the maybe last hurrah from Topps, maybe sort of their last-ditch effort to drive enthusiasm with the cards. But are you interested in these rainbow parallels? And if you are, what is the max you're going to pay for these cards? Is this something on the Mike Trout? Would you pay $500 for? Would you pay $600? I mean, this will be Mike Trout's lowest printed card, and same with Frank Thomas. Does this mean a rainbow foil parallel with Thomas is now $400? It's going to be interesting to see, but I'm curious from a collector base, are you interested in these rainbow foil parallels? And here's a quick side note. When you think about the remaining cards in the set, there's just about 65 at the moment. Which artist has the most remaining cards out there? It's Don C. He has to produce 6 cards in the next 60 to 65 releases. So hopefully you're not going to get tired of Don C because he has to release a card every 10 cards between now and the end of the set. So I'm about to start our Don C weekly watch so he can get to 20 cards by the time we get to number 400. But 2 artists who have been very consistent with their releases, and unlike Don C, is Blake Jamieson and Natural. Of course, Natural had card number 3. His first card was Jackie Robinson, and Blake Jamieson's was number 18 with his Nolan Ryan. But here we are towards the end of the set. They're wrapping up their sets very, very nicely. And when you look at these 2 cards, what are your immediate thoughts? On that Natural Derek Jeter, the first thing that comes to your mind is I can win a free card if you just accurately predict the print run for this card. This Derek Jeter is one of my most anticipated releases in the remaining part of the set. So the person who gets close to the print run and you can go over is going to win a free copy of the card. But when you take a look at this Derek Jeter Natural, this is what you come to expect from Natural this late in the set. There were no surprises here. There's nothing here that's going to change your fandom around Natural. But the one thing I do really like about this card, and it kind of relates back to the Sophia Chang Don Mattingly yesterday, the field in the Jeter is really sort of faded out, and it makes Jeter stand out even more. When you go back to the original 1993 Topps card, he doesn't get lost in the baseball field, but they're kind of the same color in a sense. And this one now, Jeter's brought forward, not so much three-dimensional as that Mattingly, but kind of a three-dimensional feel to it because the background is there. You see him on top of the diamond. But what matters here the most is you guessing the print run. So leave a comment below. I will tell you at 7:30 p.m. tonight, he had sold 22 copies on eBay. And the big question now with this Derek Jeter is, will it top 3.1, which was his most recent release with Fucci, or is it going to fall under 3,000? You know, right now, natural print runs have been very, very low. So which way are you going to go? Are you going to go over 3 or are you going under 3? Who's going to win this contest? I cannot wait to see who gets closer to the pin on this Derek Jeter. And then releasing second today, and not really second, number 1 in my book. This is my card of the day, and it's been a while since I've sort of signified A or B on a release day, but it is this Roberto Clemente by Blake Jamieson. And I'll tell you straight up, the things that I've struggled with the most with Blake Jamieson's cards are the shading on the face. That's where I've struggled the most with his cards. But I think on this Roberto Clemente, I think he nailed it. I really, really like this card. Yes, Roberto Clemente is a horizontal card, but Blake did say he's not going to produce any horizontal cards. But you can kind of turn the card to the side and the flag is now horizontal, and it kind of works. Or you can buy 2 of these, cut out Roberto's face, and then make it your own card that way. But look, this is a really, really nice Roberto Clemente. It's not one of my most anticipated releases for Blake Jamieson, but this card works. And I think if you're a fan of Blake Jamieson, this card is easily in his top 3. I do like, from a favorite perspective, his Ted Williams and his Mark McGwire, but I really think this card really encapsulates his strengths in Project 2020. The background, then with the portrait and the shading. So very, very nice card today. I'm curious though, which one is your favorite? Is it the Jeter or is it going to be this Roberto Clemente? And I almost forgot to include the sales numbers at 7:30 on this Roberto Clemente. At 7:30, Blake had sold 24 cards on eBay, just 2 more than the Derek Jeter Natural. The question right now is, will this card top 2,495? That was his most recent release with that George Brett. Are we about to see a Blake Jamieson card print at 2.2 or 2.3? With that, have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you back tomorrow night for episode number 119 of the Project 2020 Nightly News.